Alexa, kitchen blinds. If you've been wanting to install a smart motor for your blinds, then this is the video for you. I will show you step by step how to get it done. It's actually quite straightforward, so let's go.
If you haven't done already, you'll need to install your blinds. I have already installed my blinds, but the cord is on the wrong side. I want the cord and the motor to be on the other side because that's a lot more accessible for me to be able to plug in the motor. There's also the space for the motor on the left and there isn't on the right. To move this cord from the right hand to the left hand side of this blind, I even need to change out the brackets. This is because they're especially designed for each side of the blind. So I thought I'd use this opportunity to show you how these brackets go onto the ceiling. They have two holes on the back that slide onto these screws. They have to be loose enough for them to slide on or they won't fit. You can adjust them forward or back to make sure that the blind fits snugly, otherwise when you pull the blind it will just fall out. An extra long drill bit might make this easier to get into these slightly awkward gaps. There it is, super secure. Let me show you the two sides of the blind fittings. This side has a kind of circular peg and this is how it comes out and looks inside. You'll notice this rectangular ridge inside. This is designed to hold the fabric of the blind in place when it first goes onto the roll. So both sides of the fittings need to fit around it. On this side with the cord, it only goes in this one area, so you have to make sure it's facing the right way. On the side with the cord, instead of a round peg, it has this square hole, and this fits onto the bracket like this. This is the side that goes in first, and then the other side goes into the other bracket like it's a little hammock, popped over the top and then down into the little ridge. Now that my blind is installed and the cord is on the right side, I can show you how to fix the motor to the wall. These are the components that typically come in the packet. You'll have the main motor and the bracket that it slides into. The motor will need power, so there'll be a lead to plug it into the wall. Mine comes with a remote control that can be mounted onto the wall. There's also a super handy mount to help you work out exactly where to drill into the wall. Depending on what kind of cord you have, depends on which of these circular cogs you need. And I'll tell you a bit more about those in a minute. And there's a couple of ways that you can mount it. There's this sticker, which is what I'm going to use, and some fixing screws and plugs. So these are all the bits that come in the box. Let's get started. Start out with this template. You'll use this to establish where you want your motor to sit. Make sure that the cord isn't going to get caught on anything. It has two sets of holes depending on if you want to mount it on the left or on the right. The side doesn't really make a difference to me, but it might be helpful if you're working in a very confined space. One way of mounting might give you a bit more leeway. Now that I'm sure where I want to mount this, I'm using this long nibbed pen to be able to get into those holes and draw on the wall where I want to mount it. Using a level measure may make this a little bit easier to make sure that you mount it straight. At this point, you can get your masonry drill bit and draw some holes to add some plugs, but I'm just going to use the sticky pad that comes with it because it's strong enough to hold it and I just don't want to have to drill into the wall. And hey, you don't always get it right first time. After I took a step back and had a look at where it was located, I realised that the cord might well get stuck on some of the bottles above, so I moved it slightly further across to the right. Luckily, these pen marks are going to be hidden behind the bracket anyway. Apply some pressure when you're sticking it to the wall to make sure that it sticks. And of course, do a double check with a level measure to make sure that it's hanging straight. And now for the cogs. They're different sizes depending on how far apart the little balls on your cord are. It's easy to tell which one works for yours, just test them out. This one has two little balls per section, so that one is too big. But let me test out one of these other ones. That looks very promising. I'll try the final one just to see if this is definitely the right one. And yes, this one is again too far apart, so that middle one is the one that I'm going to go for. The installation of this cog is very straightforward. It slides onto this metal bar following the pattern on the inside. You might need to use a little bit of strength to pop it on. The cord catches onto the cog and then you replace the covering plate that goes on the back. When sliding the motor onto the bracket, you start at the top and then work your way down. You want to make sure that the cord is taut because if it's too loose, it just skips inside of the cog and it all goes a bit topsy-turvy. After the unit is plugged in, you'll be able to automatically set the height of the blinds so that when you press the up and down buttons, it opens itself to the correct height, which is pretty dang cool. And now I just have to remember how to do it. I've installed a few of these now and I forget every time, and this reminds me of the video that I put up on how to change the clock on my cooker And you might think that I made that video for you, but no, I didn't. I made that for me, and I go back and watch that video every 6 months because I cannot remember how to do it. So start by opening your blinds fully to where you want the blinds to be when they are fully open, and then press the stop button. Press this for about 5 seconds until it starts to flash. And when it starts to flash, that means it's ready for programming. It remembers its position fully open, and then once you press the down button and it closes fully, press stop and it will remember the position of the blind when it's closed as well. And it uses this memory to remember where to stop when it opens and where to stop when it closes. And you can reset this at any time just following the same process. And finally, I tap the up button to exit. In this part, I'm going to show you how to connect it to the app. You don't actually need to do this second, you could do this first as I did, which you can tell because the red light's still there from before I set the height. But press the up and middle button for a few seconds until they start to flash. Each different motor usually comes with its own app, and you can open that up and press add. The interface on these mostly look the same, and you just need to scroll down to find where yours is. Normally for the motors it's on small appliances, and scroll down again to find the wireless curtain option. It will prompt you to log into your Wi-Fi, and then once that's connected you have to go back into the app and continue. You have to confirm that the motor is blinking, which you've already done, and then it'll take a few seconds to find it. If you're having some trouble, try moving a little bit closer to your router, or just go through these steps again to see if you can get it to connect. I always like to give them unique names. This is because when I go into my Alexa, which I'll show you in a minute, I know exactly which thing I am turning on or off. And Alexa gets easily confused if there's two items that have very similar names, even though it's really obvious, and I'm pretty sure Alexa does it on purpose just to annoy me. So in the app that comes with the motor, you can put in a schedule here of when you want the blinds to open and close. I usually set it for daylight hours, or perhaps if I'm getting up at a certain time, it can be really helpful because it's a little bit noisy when it opens. So it wakes you up and it lets sunlight in. So what a great way to wake up. And it's really handy to have them close at night time so that when you get back, your house isn't exposed with the curtains open. Now for the voice commands. This is my Alexa devices section. So these are all the different smart devices that I have in my home. And this is the one that I've just added. It automatically found the blinds that I've just added in. If you go into routines, you can set a specific routine for every item. So for my blinds, I like them to open when I do a specific command. I've asked it to respond to a voice command, and then you put in here exactly the words that you want it to respond to. To find the blinds, I'm going into all devices and I'm going to scroll down until I find the one that I have just uploaded. And when I go into this, I can choose different types of actions for it. You could set it at a percentage where you just want it to open, say, 20% in the morning just to bring in a bit of light. I want it to open fully, so I'm going to click on. Once I added in this blind, I also added in the other one that is in the kitchen. So when I give this command, both will open at the same time under this one command. You can also set up different commands for each blind depending on what it's called.
Alexa, kitchen blinds closed. And we're done here.